You said you didn't think you were good enough for her. Is that true? You're friends, right?
Oh, sure, yeah. But I've always had kind of a natural insecurity anyway, so I would probably say the same thing about any woman.
You said you didn't think you were good enough for her. Is that true? It's a question that has haunted Billy Bob Thornton for decades. We all remember the headlines: the 20-minute Vegas wedding in May 2000, the matching vials of blood around their necks, and the 20-year age gap.
We're together forever. We're so in love. We're best friends. But we kind of signed our life away to each other, legally, and with blood, that there's no possible way anybody can separate or walk away from this.
He was 44, Angelina Jolie was 24. 2 years later, it was over. The tabloids blamed blood rituals and wild behavior, but the truth, the confession Billy Bob eventually made, is far more human, and it explains the man behind the myth. Welcome back to Prestige Buzz. Before we dive into the raw reality of why Hollywood's most intense couple shattered, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification so you never miss an inside look at the lives of the icons. A heavy beginning. To understand why Billy Bob felt not good enough for one of the world's most beautiful women, you have to look at where he started. Born August 4, 1955, in Hot Springs, Arkansas, Billy Bob's life had a strange, heavy energy from the start. As a 7-month-old baby, he weighed nearly 30 pounds, a local record that landed him in the newspaper as the heaviest baby in Clark County. Before he could even speak, strangers were already staring and forming opinions. His childhood was defined by transience and grit. Living in shacks with no electricity or plumbing, his family relied on whatever game his grandfather could hunt in the woods. This wasn't budgeting, it was survival. The scars of the past. Tragedy struck early. In 1974, when Billy Bob was just 19, his father died, stripping away his sense of safety. He carried that grief into a world that already felt hostile. In school, he struggled with severe, undiagnosed dyslexia. Teachers labeled him lazy or slow, and he grew up branded by the belief that he was stupid. To cope with this deep-seated insecurity, he developed obsessive-compulsive habits and bizarre phobias. He couldn't stand the feel of real silver cutlery or the sight of antique French furniture. These weren't quirks, they were the manifestations of a mind that never felt at rest. The Hunger Years in L.A. In 1981, Billy Bob headed to Los Angeles with $500 and a typewriter. The struggle was literal. He lived on $6 a week, often surviving on a single powdered donut and a cup of rum. This period was so brutal that by 1984, he was hospitalized for heart failure caused by severe malnutrition. He had been living on nothing but potatoes for weeks. Even when he tried to use his roots to get work, Hollywood rejected him. He once auditioned for a Southern role and was told he wasn't Southern enough. Imagine being told your own life, the shacks, the hunting, the Arkansas dirt, is a bad performance. Then came the blow that truly broke him. In 1988, his brother Jimmy Don died of undiagnosed heart failure at age 30. Billy Bob described his life as being split in two that day. He began to live in a state of being half happy and half sad at any given moment, always waiting for the ground to open up again. The rise of Slingblade. Success didn't come until Billy Bob was 41. He spent 7 years obsessing over a character named Carl Childers, eventually writing, directing, and starring in the masterpiece Slingblade. On March 24, 1997, the man who had been told he was too ugly to be a lead actor and too slow to succeed stood on the Oscar stage with a trophy for Best Adapted Screenplay. But even as the world cheered, the old insecurities remained. The Storm, Laura Dern and Angelina Jolie. By 1997, Billy Bob was engaged to actress Laura Dern. They shared a home and a life for 3 years. Then, he went to the set of Pushing Tin and met a 23-year-old Angelina Jolie. The connection was instant and destructive. Laura Dern famously remarked that she left home to work on a movie and returned to find her boyfriend had married someone else without a single phone call. On May 5, 2000, Billy Bob and Angelina eloped in Vegas wearing jeans. The media obsessed over their blood rituals. Billy Bob later clarified it was just a romantic gesture, a drop of blood in a locket, because they were often apart. But the world saw it as dark magic. Why it really ended. As Angelina's fame ascended to a global level, she began her work with the UN, traveling to refugee camps and evolving into a humanitarian icon. Meanwhile, Billy Bob's anxiety made him want to stay home. He wanted the quiet of the woods he grew up in. She wanted to change the world. But the real reason for the divorce, as Billy Bob finally confessed, wasn't a scandal. It was his own mind. "I blew it because I didn't feel good enough for her," he admitted. People would tell him to his face that he didn't deserve her. In the shadow of her light, he felt small. He felt like the stupid kid with dyslexia again, the ugly waiter serving directors, the man from the shack. He couldn't handle being Mr. Angelina Jolie. The aftermath. Since their 2003 divorce, Billy Bob has lived a life of highs and lows, from his legendary drunken performance in Bad Santa to a tense, viral 2009 interview on the CBC that showed his prickly relationship with fame. Yet, he speaks of Angelina with nothing but love. He calls their time together one of the greatest periods of his life. He even kept her name on his arm for years, eventually covering it with an angel tattoo to signify peace. Billy Bob Thornton's story isn't just about a celebrity divorce. It's about a man who conquered poverty, hunger, and grief, only to be defeated by the one thing he couldn't outrun, the feeling that he didn't belong. What do you think? Was Billy Bob right to walk away, or did his insecurities rob him of a great love? Let us know in the comments below.